Okay. Okay. Nice to meet you. Okay, let me bring myself first. I am Nurul Ashikin. You can call me Shikin, and I'm from Malaysia. Currently studying at KPM Seri Iskandar Perak. So, can you brief a little bit about you and about your country?
Okay, so my name is Ji Xuan. I'm currently also in my final year of my diploma in a polytechnic, and
Mm,
I come from Singapore.
okay. Oh, same. I'm also currently diploma also. How to tell?
Mm.
I'm also at diploma. Sorry, my English is so bad.
It's alright, it's alright.
It's
No, I mean, as long as I can understand you, it's good. Yeah.
okay. Sorry, yeah. Uh,
Mhm.
so so before that, have you seen the question?
Yes.
Yes. So let me ask you for the first question.
Hmm.
Since you're Singaporean, can you share how the English language has evolved in your country? Are there key historical events or influence that have played a significant role in its development? Can you tell
Now,
me?
this one, I realize that your questions could be a little bit difficult for me to answer because I'm not exactly a history expert, but
Oh,
I do have at least some surface level knowledge and assumptions. So, with the way English is in our country, um, at first it's well to go back to a little like really early. You have the British colonials coming over and actually settling, colonizing the land, and then after which, after World War II, you have the whole thing with Lee Kuan Yew, needing the business language of Singapore to be English, right?
oh,
But the thing is, not as much as you can teach the basics of the Queen's English, there will always be a melding of like the local accents. So since Singapore is so very diverse, you have Chinese, Malay, Indian, and all other regions of accents coming together to create Singlish, which is a wonderful amalgamation of all of our languages together.
language together. So because of their colonized back there, so English evolves very widely to your country. I understand that.
Not so much the colonization, more Lee Kuan Yew himself, because it was in the separation from Malaysia that that he really enforced. One of the things that he really enforced was to have English as a basic in schools. So that's why you have some Singaporeans are literate
Mm.
for the most part.
It's okay because I know because the first language for Singapore is Malay, right? The English is
It
but
depends on your race really. For me it's English lah, but for many others, it's their whatever ethnicity they're from. Could be Chinese, Malay, Indian. Oh, sorry, is Hindu, is it? Yeah. No, sorry, Hindu is the religion. No, yeah, it's whatever language that you descend from really, or you want to take up. In the
okay.
education system, English is technically a first language, and then your mother tongue is second language. But in reality, you have your family where you descended from. That is your first language.
Okay. So everything in English, right? Okay. So I'm gonna move to the second question, which is how has English history influenced your country development over the years?
English history, as in England itself, or are you talking about the language itself?
uh, I talk about a language, how it's evolved in Singapore development and so on.
As I spoke earlier on Lee Kuan Yew need for the English language, I think it's really helped for our country to really step it up as an economic sector, especially since I mean, no hate to any other countries in the neighborhood. Like when it comes to literacy of the English language, Singapore, in terms of business language, I think really has it best. They really because they doubled down so hard on it, they were able to promote ourselves as like the economic hub in the region. We're able to get clients from all over the world, able to communicate very clearly with them. And so I think it's a big part of how our country has developed today,
Because English is a lingua franca. Lingua franca, right? Mhm.
in a sense, yes.
Yeah.
Business-wise, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The third question. What is the current status of the English language in your country today? How widely is it spoken, and is what context it is most commonly used?
Well, the
The
current
current status.
status is that it's
Mm-hmm.
very broken.
Okay.
You know Singlish, right?
Yeah, I'm no.
In a way, like in a way, like a lot of other countries have their own version of their their own version of English as well. How should I? What is that?
Hmm?
Oh, sorry, I'll be reading the question a little bit.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, it's fully integrated as like a hallmark of Singapore, really, like Singlish. No, it's still no the very basic proper English is still used in business today, of course. But when it comes to speaking between peers, especially in a more casual setting, Singlish is definitely very widely spoken.
English, okay.
Hmm. But as diverse as our country is, there's a lot of melding of switching between English and Chinese or like Malay,
Mm-hmm.
Indonesian, sorry, and the Indian as well, Hokkien, especially with the older generation. You see they switch between any languages quite fluently, really. It's a little harder to see with our generation today since translators exist, but there are definitely still quite a few individuals who can make that switch very easily.
I think that's the impact of the technology nowadays, and they can learn English very easily through the internet. Okay, it's
Hmm.
like that, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
something like that.
Okay. For the fourth question, what are your thoughts on the development of the English language in your country? Do you see it as a positive or negative influence, and why?
Um, as is, we have, at least in the education system, the teachers are doing their best to teach the basics of English.
Mm-hmm.
However, um, as pervasive as Singlish is, one thing that surprised me is that um, I some time ago I think I learned that there are some Singaporeans who really bring Singlish into an interview, which is what
Mm.
really like it sort of like surprised me. I thought people would try to put on a more neutral accent, but apparently not as much as I thought. And nowadays you have Gen Alpha slang, you know the the words like Riz that can be a bit more commonly used. It's not necessarily a bad thing, I would say. I think it's a wonderful thing how the English language is being like is evolving and transforming over time to suit the needs and the wants of each generation. Like I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just that fundamentally everyone should know the very basics of English in order to make that distinction between what's actual real English and like what's just slang, modern slang.
More than that. Oh yeah, we have the question about that later. So I thought the Singaporean very fluent and can differentiate between the Singlish and the real
Uh,
English in the formal way.
uh, can differentiating differentiating it is one thing, but actually speaking proper English, I think is something different. Because I realize some friends when I ask them to try to speak proper English, all they can do is English. So yeah,
Oh, so many of
definitely
them.
among like yeah,
Uh,
definitely among like higher class that the proper classical English comes a bit more naturally. But when it comes to people, the more regular people, working like 9 to 5 job, English is definitely the way to go.
okay, okay. That's how the hierarchy goes, right? I'm sorry for the sound. for the one.
Oh, don't worry, don't worry.
Hmm?
It's no trouble at all.
Okay, answer. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move to the other question. Okay. How does the new phrase or slang in the social media with English term influence in your native language? Yeah, that's
Um,
the.
there's definitely a lot of it. Like, I only recently re-downloaded TikTok, and
Oh,
if you see, there's quite a bit of skibbity riz here and there.
what's give it a thing? I don't know about it.
I barely know about it as well, but yeah, it's definitely part of the social consciousness nowadays. Because you see some official pages like government social media accounts. They
Uh-huh.
have younger people running their social media accounts where like they'll do trends. They also involve a lot of like new slangs and stuff, which is fun. But I don't think it really
Necessary.
directly impacts like in the the cultural mainstream of the English language. Like stuff like that is a bit more come and go sort of thing. Whereas there's honestly when it comes to language,
Mm-hmm.
sticking around in hold on.
It's okay. Take your time.
English I wouldn't say is so much our native language as is like, compared to Malay or Chinese or Hokkien. Because if you see the things that the cultural references that last a lot longer tend to be in our mother tongue rather than in English. Like how to say I don't know like modern slang entertains, but um, the kind of slang that you see in native languages sort of entertain the soul more than just like on the surface level, really. So yeah.
So, yeah, the slang nowadays is very inappropriate actually to do in a formal way, right? Mm-hmm. But it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to the lexical question. What are the words that has no English translation in your native language?
Oh, this one. Okay, so my main language,
Yeah.
embarrassingly enough, is only just English. Really, I'm not really fluent in Chinese or Hokkien.
Oh,
Sorry, Cantonese,
that's,
really, because yeah, I don't know why it's something up here, but yeah, I don't really have a word for you for that question.
how about the word kiasu? I need to know about that.
Oh, kiasu, it's
Yeah.
like being very on edge and very it's like the need to be prepared, really. Like say, if someone let's say you have an upcoming picnic, right? And then you have someone who worries about what time will it be, what's the
Mhm.
weather, what will we wear, what are we gonna eat, what's gonna happen before, what's gonna happen after, and then that person then goes to prepare for all those things. Then we'll label them as kiasu.
Oh, okay. That thing doesn't have any translate to
Oh,
English, right? Okay, okay.
oh yeah, no, no, no.
Really, it's okay. So, okay. Other question is, does the English spoken in your country have a mix of words or influence from your native language?
Oh, definitely. As spoken earlier, with Singlish, it combines not just like the rhythm and flows and different pronunciation of different languages. It also imports like the different metaphors and metaphor sayings and like even just straight up switching into the mother tongue language at times that will really.
There will be. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the caption.
Hmm,
How about I want to ask about the borrow from the okay the Singlish, right?
hmm.
That when people tend to speak, they like to like add lah. Is it really the wait? I don't know how to tell you. It's like the lah is a borrow language from your native because people speaking English like at la in the formal and informal conversation?
This one feels a bit more of a Chinese influence, really, because it's more of a ending. It's sort of how should I put this? It's a kind of punctuation on a sentence while being very casual about things.
Very
Oh
casual.
well, like there are many words that can fit well, like in the English dictionary, there are some words, some explicit words that can be put into any sentence anywhere and it still makes sense,
Okay.
and can be applied contextually, And then here we have la, le, du, le, lo, or whatever it is, all the variation above that can be added to the end or like middle or like beginning of sentences, where like contextually, um, sorry, what was the question?
Uh,
Yeah, it applies contextually, lah, but it's I feel like talking in circles, but yeah, generally it's a way for you to start or end your sentence that I think it's a carry on from the Chinese language.
that's a very good very language. Okay. Mhm. Okay. That's a very good explanation. So I'm gonna go to the other question as well.
Hmm.
Okay, how has your local culture influenced the way people speak or learn English?
Phew. I think I'll speak first on the way people speak English because there's a lot of culture mixing. I believe it started from the earliest generations where like they will go from speaking Chinese into Malay into Hokkien, and everyone would sort of understand what they were saying. And so from there, English was added into the mix, and so we just have a switching in between, back and forth, back and forth.
Mm. And
As for the
how?
way people learn English, um, well, there's the whole idea that when it comes to academics, you need to be as competitive as possible. So a lot of people focus more on like the remembering the structures and like the rules of English rather than really feeling the flow and the artistry of English. Really, it's only it's only in those literature majors or like the more artistically inclined people that sort of tend to dip their toes into it. But when it comes to the layman, as long as you can say, oh, the work is done, or like, can I get a bigger salary? I think that's all they need, really.
Okay, okay. 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 We already at the last question, which is,
Hmm.
you know, what are some challenge faced by you of other language when incorporating English vocabulary into everyday speech? Is there any challenge?
Uh, I'm trying to understand the question first.
Mm. Okay.
Challenges faced by
Maybe it's about the code switching.
code switching. Oh, there is some of that, definitely. Well, okay, then maybe this one might be a bit more personal because, with my peers and my family, I tend to, speak very casual English. I say like, oh, aku like, macam this kind of thing. I can't say it now, lah, but yeah, or like if I'm saying something like, oh, 我的 feet 很痛, or like that kind of thing, lah. Or like, it's not necessarily very hard for me to input, because at least for me, English is my main language. Anything else is sort of just to help me communicate with people.
So how about Chinese?
Or
So you did not speak Chinese.
I do my best to speak Chinese, but it's not very good, I would say. So it's more difficult. Mm, it's more difficult for me to speak fully in Chinese language sentences rather than English sentences.
Yeah, Chinese hard. I'm learning it the basic thing, but I cannot cope with it. It's very hard
It,
for me,
it's a it's a
especially the
very
character.
tonal language, right?
It's very common language, but
Mm.
it's very hard for me.
Yeah, that's the thing about tonal languages. Like, you need to be very specific in how you say it, right?
Mm.
Have you reached the speaking part of it yet, or not yet?
Yeah, speaking, but we how is called what is called that? Is it pinin that it's not pinin. I don't
Ah,
remember the thing. The character we
it's the four
didn't
sound.
yeah we we use that thing.
Okay. That one, yeah, that needs a lot of practice to do, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, onto the point about code switching, yeah, I definitely use very casual English with people I know, but something an interview like this where clear language is needed. You can hear I have a much more neutral accent, much more neutral tone. It's good for the transcript bots, really.
Transcript what?
But yeah, like the automatic transcription. It's very easy for
Oh,
them to pick up on
oh yeah,
neutral
yeah.
English. Yes,
During it.
but yeah,
Yeah.
apart from that, not really. Because yeah, I just English comes naturally to me, but it's just every other language that I have difficulty implementing sometimes.
So basically, in Singapore, people tend to speak English more than their native language nowadays.
No, I wouldn't say so. Maybe it might be true among the more business people, where they need to communicate with international clients. But for local people,
Mm.
it's more of a balance really between like mother tongue and English, because English isn't really seen so much as like above or like apart from the other languages. It's just another tool in the toolbox to use to communicate with people. Like if you can speak Cantonese and Malay and like English at the same time, you're gonna use all three languages with people you know. It's just that seamless of a switch really.
Mm. So so they still speak with their native language. Okay. That's a very good explanation, elaboration, response from you. I really appreciate it. And I don't know how to repay you. So maybe
Well,
if you come to Malaysia, maybe I can bring you somewhere. Maybe,
I'll let you know. I might
but
be, who knows, I might be going to JB sometime.
JB is the jam. It's like
Mhm. Oh,
cannot lah.
I'm still waiting for the train.
Oh yeah, the RTS, right? Yeah, I'm also waiting for
Mhm.
that because I think I'm gonna work at Singapore next for my next.
Oh, well, if you do come to Singapore, let me know. Perhaps we can get some lunch together.
Okay, oh, okay, okay, thank you. I'm gonna ask you about how to go to Singapore and so on. Okay.
Okay, thank you for
That's
watching.
all from our interview. So I really appreciate it. So hit me up if you need anything or you want chatting with me. I can go through it, but maybe we can use other platform because I'm not really into the Hello Talk.
Ah, yeah, it's a little difficult to use.
Yeah, because I'm simply busy because I'm also at the final year of my diploma.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay,
much. I
and
appreciate it
thank you for seeing me as well. Okay,
for your time.
I'll see you around.
Oh
See you.
yeah. You too. Bye.
Bye.